This is a thread by a former or a current game developer. I don't actually know his whole background. He worked at Blizzard. Used to work at Blizzard. He was the team lead of the original World of Warcraft, producer on StarCraft, Diablo 2, and more, okay? So he's got credit in the industry. He tweeted this. Supposedly, this is a Blizzard leak about the current state of WoW. It may not be legit, but the attitude described about monetization and how devs view gamers and hate streamers is true overall in AAA dev. If you guys don't know what's going on, World of Warcraft is currently bleeding users by the millions to Final Fantasy. There's like a mass exodus of WoW players to Final Fantasy. And WoW has been a huge game for a long time, and it's also Blizzard's cash cow. It's how they make a ton of their money. So for it to lose users is a big deal. It's like a big, scary deal. The why of a company changes. Instead of going for games they would love to play and identifying as gamers themselves, there is now a sense of other. We made the games and they pay for them. The whiny, entitled gamers. By the way, gamers can be whiny and entitled often. It's not incorrect, but I do think the us versus them attitude, he's on something real here. He's on something real here. Again, this wasn't helped by upper management, who's now fully flooded with MBA and marketing types, PogChamp, who treat devs poorly and binge hire and fire them from project to project. This is also true. The truth is, you really want people who helped build the games to help make the decisions. You don't want to separate that. Otherwise, you end up with choices that are suboptimal. So I agree with that. But I also think people that know how to sell a game it should just be an equal opportunity thing. Hard to have passion when both management and angry gamers don't have your back. Yeah, and I can see this is the main thing. Is like, from his point of view, developers of games are stuck in the middle. Gamers hate you because you nerfed their favorite character or whatever. And your bosses hate you because you cost a lot of money and they don't see your value. And I think this happened with Cyberpunk, actually, where developers all knew the game wasn't ready. Management overpromised, and then gamers yelled at developers. And so the developers got screwed, and in fact are probably like pretty upset. They got crunched, and then they got yelled at, and then they didn't make any bonus because the stock dropped. Then Zynga blew up big on Facebook, and metrics became important, along with predatory monetization. This has been the big change in gaming over the past 10 years. When mobile exploded and everything became free to play with pay to win, the sheer scale of gaming profits leapt an order of magnitude or two forwards. Billions, not millions. And this is true. Gaming became so much bigger relatively recently because of how much more money there is in this stuff. When you design games for monetization metrics, you get a very different type of game than if you design for gameplay. The two are often at odds. You find yourself deliberately making your game worse so it can sell better convenience items and power items. And this is true. Okay? Because the truth is, if a game is super well designed and it's fun and well paced, you're not going to pay for convenience items. Okay? But psychologically, if they gimp it in some way or make it annoying, you will. I think human beings eventually learn what scams, like for example, I think the first wave of crypto and NFTs and all that shit, nobody was calling it as a scam, even though it obviously was. But now I think it's much more broad that everyone kind of knows. Like if an influencer says, join shitcoin, people know that's a scam now. Do you know what I'm saying? It takes a while for antibodies to develop, but people sort of get it. And I think as gamers, as a gaming collective, we're starting to sort of get antibodies for some of the worst monetization schemes. And so games that don't do that are starting to get a bonus. I think it's happening. This is like the cool part, I think, for me. What sparked the exodus from WoW started with a player base that was tired of being treated as customer, taken for granted, poor service and content, not being listened to, milked for cash and fees. And that is fucking true. And you look at all the complaints from WoW gamers, it's like, it's all about this. It's not just about like balance and shit. It's like they're completely ignored for months. They're constantly milked for extra cash, extra fees. They must have just thought that no one could beat them. Then came the streamers. Streamers are the world's biggest force in games marketing. They can make you a success overnight with zero traditional marketing, or they can absolutely tear your game down. This is so true, and people do not know this in the gaming industry. It's what I've been talking about for like months on Marketing Monday. Social and influencers are like changing the world of marketing. This stuff is so powerful and costs so much less. Imagine if Among Us tried to get big by buying mobile game ads or something. Like, that would have done nothing. And then getting SodaPop into play at once changed their life and made them million. Like, all of this stuff is much more expensive now, but it's still a better return on your money generally than just trying to buy basic ad spend. Unless you have an amazing ad, people ignore ads now, but they're not good at tuning out influencers. You gotta listen to me, bitch. So when Asmongold started dipping his toes into alternatives to WoW, interviewing Final Fantasy content creators and then finally playing it himself on stream, Blizzard was unaware or unbelieving of what was happening. They were the monopoly. And this is huge because Asmongold is literally costing Blizzard millions of dollars. Asmongold's streams have brought more people to Final Fantasy than they could ever possibly imagine. Final Fantasy could not have asked for a better ad. It is shocking and it's crazy and it's an entirely new world. But you can't ignore the world around. You can't like la 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 la. Even Asmongold was taken by shock at the sheer number of viewers his Final Fantasy stream attracted. Even he had underestimated the number of dissatisfied and curious for alternative WoW gamers. It's crazy to underestimate that number because I feel like all I've heard for the past 10 years is WoW gamers complaining there's not a new MMO. I feel like every 5 minutes for the past 15 years, you can hear a gamer say, oh, man, there's no good, I wish there was a new MMO. So what happens in streaming? And this is also true. Once one content creator hits a gold vein of views, this is the Ludwig. Once a meta is found, once there's a way to get views, others hop on. The smart ones like Ludwig hop on quickly. Yeah, if you're a WoW content creator and you see Final Fantasy getting a ton of views, you can try it out because you want to see if it'll give you a boost. And now suddenly, like you're a WoW gamer and you can't, all your favorite creators are switching, you're going to switch. Sometimes you don't need the best product. You just need to be good enough to take advantage of a company that has rested too long on their brand and monopoly to actually change, innovate, and improve. Anyway, I thought it was a really interesting thread. And I really agree with some of the points around monetization just being such a soul sucker for a lot of great games. I also agree that Blizzard's clearly having problems, bro. There's just no getting around it. And I also love the part about streamers. I just think it's so interesting because developers don't know this at a mass scale yet. Streamers are powerful, like the big ones, like the ones that have the ability to turn the tides of other streamers. If you're like the streamers that are influencers for other streamers, those people have crazy power. Soda Poppin', great example. Like literally, people, because Soda Poppin's like a brand risk. If you're an indie dev and you're not fucking begging Soda Poppin' to play your game at any cost, you're crazy. Clint Stevens, get someone who's an influencer of other influencers, get them to play your game, and you have it's a huge moonshot. But people are still buying basic banner ads. The Minecraft streamers, yeah, it's tough to tap into them because they only play Minecraft, and their audience goes down when they don't play Minecraft. Except for Tommy Innit, who literally is gonna rule this fucking world. I can't stress enough how I think some British scientists made Tommy Innit in a lab to create the ultimate influencer. I think they were jealous of Sweden having PewDiePie. And they said, we're going to create an influencer to kill him in 10 years. I'm not even kidding. He is literally born and designed to have mass appeal as a content creator. What's your opinion on the expensive monetization of cosmetic items? Cosmetics are kind of different because people that get mad that are like, oh my God, you'd pay $20 for a Valorant skin. That's more of the nature of our lives changing. We're spending more of our time digitally. Human beings want to look drippy to their friends no matter what. And we're just spending more time with our friends online, so we want to do it there. That's not really a change. What I don't like about monetization schemes is the stuff about gimping the game, day one paid DLC, making the game boring or grindy so you pay to not be bored or grind. You'd think gamers would be like, oh, that's stupid, I'm not doing it. But they do. Because once you're hooked on a game, it just seems like, oh, okay, I'll pay a little bit to skip this bad part so I can get to the part that I like. How much money you spent on skins? Oh, fucking racks. Especially League of Legends skins when I was broke. You know, when my meal was one Jimmy John sandwich for a day and I was spending my money on a Misfortune skin. When I'm spending 12 hours a day in League of Legends, I want to look good in League of Legends. And that's how it works. If your model is cosmetic based, then you're incentivized to make your game, first of all, free to play and fun to play. People spend more money on cosmetics when their friends play. You want to flex to your friends. Honestly, paid cosmetics is not a bad model. Like, I think the League model leads to a better game.